Hey, ba-dum-bum-bum-ba-da-da-da. Hey, welcome to Stop the Idiot. I am the huge one, aka the idiot, Dave Koco from KocoSports.com or KocoSports.net. It's where the world comes to cash, a home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. And we are just doing Stump the Idiot, where we just answer your questions. If you want to hit us up on Twitter at KocoSports, or in this case, if you want to make a 48-minute video about our award show. I'm going to put the link to Guy on the internet who doesn't lie for views. A video. This is like kind of video response. Back in the day, you used to do stuff like this. Now we use Twitter for that. And yeah, and if you want to be a show and you want to make a 48-minute video, or if you just want to tweet me, either way, I'm going to try to make more videos in 2018. Alright, so this is, and I'll also put a link of our award-winning show, no, just kidding, our award show that this all spurred with. I've been a huge TNA fan from day one, and I watched them do a lot of bad things, and I don't even know what to call it. For the sake of this video, we're calling it TNA. If you want to call it Anthem, if you want to call it Impact, if you want to call it Global Force, go ahead. I'm just going to call it TNA because that's what I know it as, and that's what I started watching as. We interviewed their athletes on this show when it was a radio show. I've been invited to the Impact Zone millions of times. Okay, that number is over-exaggerated. But pretty much if I lived in Florida and there was an event at Impact Zone, I was always welcome there. You know, I've talked to people in creative, talked to their athletes, and I wanted TNA to succeed. We had TNA pay-per-view parties at a radio station when it first came out. Oh, by the way, radio was the thing we did before YouTube. I know we might have a younger audience. Like, what's the radio? It's like podcasting, except, you know, not on your phone. You had to listen to it in your car. Yeah, it was a weird time. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I supported them. And there was a moment where we broke, and it was the EC3 losing to Matt Hardy with a 4-day booking storyline. And this year, we decided to for the first time ever, take away the TNA Wrestler of the Year, because no one on staff watched it, and usually their fans are insane and make the product worse. And so we just skipped it. But with that said, I do owe an apology for a guy on the internet who doesn't lie for views. Also, to TNA fans, you know, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not wrong about everything in the 47 minutes, but I am wrong. During the interview, we give the worst company of the year. And we gave it to TNA, and everyone's like, ah. And maybe we shouldn't. You know, it was a cheap joke. It was a cheap shot. But with that said, it's the only company I wouldn't consider ever watching again. It's like when you have, you know, Ring of Honor has its problems. You know, every wrestling company has its problems. But TNA, Global Force, Impact, I've not seen a company that I'm just like, I refuse to watch it. I don't enjoy the fan base. I don't enjoy the interaction. I don't like how the YouTubers that do support TNA blindly support it, and we'll get into that. And I don't like how everything is spun. You know, we'll get into that. But here's the thing: we gave an award for the worst company to TNA because we refused to watch it. I never remember a company doing that. I've watched a lot of bad wrestling, and it's just because hope is gone. There is no coming back for this company, and maybe I'll be wrong. I would love to make another video and hope I'm wrong. And yeah, okay. Now let's get into some other things. So I want to say what I'm wrong. I used a cheap joke and a cheap shot for an award. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but in 2017. That's the only company I refuse to watch. I like literally refuse to watch it. You know, like Andy Paps is a great member of the Internet Infantry, and he'll tell me if TNA is good, and I can't bring myself to watch it. I've get my heart broken way too many times watching this fucking product. And no other company has ever done that. I've took time off from WWE. I've took time off from pro wrestling in general. But there's never been a time where, like, I can watch TNA, and I just refuse. And so to me, I still think it's a cheap shot, but they still kind of deserve the award. And even guy on internet who doesn't lie for views even said it was the worst company. And listen, you have no idea how big of a TNA guy that is. So that's the thing that I got the most shocked about. I'm like, if he thinks TNA is horrible, oh my God, how bad has it gotten? How bad has it gotten? All right, so there you go. So I'm wrong. I want to apologize for that. Now let's talk about the spin zone. I stopped watching EC3 when EC3 lost to Matt Hardy in a 5-day thing. And guy on the internet who doesn't lie for views, maybe you don't believe me that there was no storyline. Maybe you don't believe me that it was what broke me. Maybe you think, oh, I'm just a crybaby. But hear me out. I'm going to quote, I used to host this TNA show going into this pay-per-view with a guy named American Alucard. Now, a guy on the internet who doesn't lie for views, maybe you know who this American Alucard guy is. I'm going to quote American Alucard, all right? I said, if EC3 loses to Matt Hardy at this pay-per-view with only a 4 to 5 day, or less than a week build, I'm done. And do you know what American Alucard said? I'm going to quote, they would never be that dumb to ruin their company. They would just not do it. That's what you said. Well, I broke kayfabe, broke my own joke. So, yeah. And then all the TNA super YouTubers were in a chat together. And I lost my shit. I was like, dude, I'm done fucking watching this. And do you know what you guys talked about? How can we spin this to make it sound good? How can we spin it to make it sound good? That sounds like someone's lying for views. That sounds like someone's defending a company. Now, if you get paid by TNA, just be honest. You don't. No one gets paid by TNA. That's a cheap shot. I know you're going to fucking throw that in my face. But the reality is, you shouldn't have to spin anything. You should just be honest and admit when you're wrong or admit when you're right. You made it sound like I was a crybaby, but no. This wasn't just a storyline. This is why this storyline was very important and broke the back. EC3 was, the character was made in TNA. Matt Hardy's still Matt Hardy. Now, I know EC3 obviously came from WWE, but he had a short career, and his career took off. And EC3 was everything that represents Impact, everything that represents TNA. And then Matt Hardy came along and just defeated him. And maybe there's a storyline over there and there, but I'm not going to do it. I'm done. And you can rewrite history. You can spin it any way you want. This wasn't a fan leaving because his guy lost. That's it. What other TNA guys are there? And you know what? It's funny because you guys hate WWE. But yet when WWE guys come and embarrass TNA guys or the faces of TNA or guys that were built in TNA or guys that busted their ass in TNA, then you just look the other way. You know, here's the difference. Right now, all you TNA fans hate Matt Hardy. Guess what? I don't give a fuck what company Matt Hardy works for. I fucking hate him. That's the difference. I'm consistent. You find a way to spin to protect it. He did make fun of my staff for being yes men, but if you watch the videos, just watch the reaction video for the Okada match. Yeah, I mean, we might agree a lot on stuff, but we also disagree. I mean, so, yeah. And the only thing that we all agree on is that we're done watching TNA. Was it a cheap shot to give them the worst company? Yeah, but maybe they still deserve it. With that said, I probably wouldn't do it again. But still, fuck them. Let's be completely honest. They made something great into something fucking horrible. And as far as my staff being yes men, I'll let them answer that. I have no idea. But yeah, I know I walked away for about 2.5 years, something like that. We'll just say 2 years for the sake of this conversation. And I know American Alucard and my staff got into fights because I wasn't even paying attention. Like, can we do that? I'm like, whatever, dude. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, I wanted to keep this short. There's other stuff that you broke down, but it's not just a fan leaving because of a storyline. It's because there's no more fucking hope. There's literally no hope. EC3 had everything going for him. Matt Hardy showed up. He's like, I was in WWE! Da, da, da! And he won the fucking title. And even American Alucard, pre-EC3 losing, agreed with me. After, he's like, oh, it's a bit ridiculous. Let's see how we can spin this. You don't have to spin anything. Just speak from your heart, brother. All right, let's see. Some like types. Oh, and on Andre Corbell left a comment on his video, and he said ROH is usually the worst, easily. Yeah, and you know what? I actually was talking to a pro wrestling fan and a bunch of pro wrestlers and a couple of fans got together, and we were talking about award show in person while drinking beer afterwards. And a lot of people think ROH is bad. The thing that makes ROH not as bad is that their pay-per-views are amazing and they have access to New Japan. So yeah, their TV shows is probably worse. I'll give Impact that. But yeah, so, and I hope ROH fixes their flaws. But a lot of people think ROH is worse than TNA. I think thanks to New Japan and New Japan talent and thanks to big matches, I don't know. I think I give ROH the nod as far as if it's a worse company. But a lot of people think ROH is the worst company. Let's see. There's one here by Richard. He says, Impact TNA has been getting the DCEU treatment since there even was a DCEU. And I love this comment, and I wish I could answer it. Maybe I'll put a link down in blue. I don't know if you're going to watch this video, Richard. But, yeah, but both companies deserve it. If you have everything and don't fucking deliver, if you don't know how a story works, if you rush things, yeah, DCU and TNA are the fucking same thing. They're trying to compete with other companies by doing exactly what they did, worse. Not being different, just be like, hey, we're going to compete with WWE by being a worse version of WWE. We're going to compete with Marvel by being a worse version of Marvel. Let's speed everything up. Yeah, no. EC3, you could say, is the Wonder Woman of TNA. EC3 is the bright spot of the TNA universe. Wonder Woman is the bright spot in the DCEU. And is it an E? I just thought it was the DC Cinematic Universe. I don't know what the E stands for. Moving on. I'm an idiot. Yeah, and the thing is, with Wonder Woman in Justice League, even though she was the most successful, she had the least amount of lines. EC3, he's the Wonder Woman of TNA. Even though he was the most successful, Matt Hardy still fucking beat him. And there was barely any builds. Now, maybe American Alucard, pre this EC3 disaster, agreed with me. Afterwards, didn't. I don't know what's changed. Yeah, and I wonder, TNA fans, do you like Matt Hardy now? Do you like Jeff Hardy now? I don't know. All right. But yeah, Impact and DC deserves both. All right. And LB one of a kind. This is why I never take YouTube too seriously. And, you know, social media and YouTube is great, but slowly it's taking the U out of tube. It's not only Netflix gate. It's not even the, yellow dollar signs. It ain't ad gate. It ain't that. There's a lot of stuff that right now is plaguing YouTube. But one thing that's good is that anyone can voice their opinion. And there's so much information out there, not just in pro wrestling, just in just information in general. We live in an information age. But the problem is you have people that if you don't agree, well, if you didn't agree back in the day when there was only 6 channels, you can only turn the channel so much. But now we have so much information, you can literally just watch videos that you agree with. And I always make the joke that YouTube and social media, the next great app, the big move over Facebook, move over Snapchat, move over Instagram. You know what the next big app is called? A mirror. Because people are just going to talk into a mirror and be like, yeah, guy's absolutely right. He's right. But LB, one of a kind. I stopped watching KocoSports show around the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. The excuse they made about why they stopped watching, the excuse that American Alucard agreed with pre-show, Impact over certain storylines seemed hypocritical, and the same stuff they complained about WWE and ROH were, and still are doing the same thing. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not so fast, my fellow friend. The Matt Hardy coming in and no. That you could be like TNA is better than ROH. You could say TNA is better than WWE. And I'm as ahead, dude, that's your opinion. But to say they're doing the same thing and we're complaining about the same thing, no, they're not. We actually complain about the opposite. John Cena's, Randy Orton's, Dave Bautista's, Undertaker's, Roman Reigns. WWE guys always beat the new guys coming in. Always beat the new guys in. And we have to beg, borrow, and steal for a Daniel Bryan or an AJ Styles to do good. WWE protects their product. TNA doesn't. TNA is horrible at protecting their product. There's no fucking way. TNA, like, there's no way. Like, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, all these guys should have had better careers in TNA. And you're like, oh, they had great careers, but they should have been even better. There shouldn't have been Kevin Nash's. There shouldn't have been Mick Foley's. There shouldn't have been Booker T's. But TNA doesn't protect the product. WWE protects the product. ROH, love them or hate them, they protect the product more than TNA does. So it's not the same thing. It's not just a storyline. It's WWE guys coming in. And that's the history. That is the history of TNA. It's WWE guys coming in, showing their superior on a lower stage. That's what TNA is. And that's the problem. You know, so it's not hypocritical. And, you know, but you're never going to watch this, so. Anyway, this will probably be the worst video we've ever done. Like, comment, subscribe. American Alucard, love you, brother. Thank you for saying kind things. Hopefully, in the future, we can work together again. I have no ill will, but, you know, I just, was it a cheap shot? Yes. Should we have just ignored them? Yes. But maybe next year we'll just ignore them altogether. Maybe this will be my last TNA video. I can imagine this is going to get eaten up in the TNA community a lot. Alright, I wanted to lose TNA subscribers anyway. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out Koco Plays, where I play NHL Battle on PlayStation 4. It's my Let's Play channel. Check out KocoSports.net. We're rebuilding it. Hopefully 2018 will be a great year. We can return to, you know, back to normal from when I left 2 years ago. Check out my book. I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo. Like I said, if you like American Alucard, I'll put his channel, Guy on Internet Who Doesn't Lie for Views. And if you want to see what he said about me and my staff, go right ahead. And yeah, I think it's like, comment, subscribe. And I got some more Twitter questions coming up in the future. All right, if you want to be on the show and you want me to answer your question, at KocoSports. And with that, I am over. Bum 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 bum.